Why you can't do friend groups. A woman might struggle in friend groups for a lot of reasons, and honestly, it's not always because she's antisocial, bitter, awkward, or incapable of connecting. Sometimes she's highly observant, emotionally sensitive, independent, or simply exhausted by the unspoken politics that exist inside group dynamics. A lot of women notice pretty early on that female friend groups can sometimes feel less like genuine connection and more like a social ecosystem with invisible rules. There can be hierarchies, competition, role assignments, subtle exclusion, image management, gossip, loyalty tests, and pressure to conform. Not every group is like this, of course, but enough are that certain women start feeling emotionally safer on their own than constantly decoding everyone's energy. Especially observant women, especially introverted women, especially women who've been betrayed, misunderstood, bullied, or studied in friendships before. Some women also struggle because they don't perform femininity in the group approved way. Female friend groups often bond through shared social rituals, constant texting, keeping up with trends, group outings, emotional disclosure, indirect communication, and subtle social maintenance. If a woman is more independent, private, unconventional, ambitious, creative, or introspective, she may start feeling like she has to shrink or edit herself to remain accepted. And that becomes very draining over time. Another thing people don't talk about enough is that some women become deeply uncomfortable with the amount of comparison that can happen in groups. Looks, weight, dating lives, fashion, money, attention from men, career success, social media engagement, even who seems happier. Sometimes the competition is silent, but you can still feel it in the room. A woman who values peace may eventually decide, I'd rather be alone than constantly evaluated. And honestly, that decision can shock people because society romanticizes female friend groups so heavily. Women are often taught that having a big group of girlfriends is proof that you're likable, healthy, feminine, and socially successful. So, when a woman prefers solitude, people assume there's something wrong with her. But sometimes solitude is the healthiest thing she ever chose. A woman may also prefer her own company because she genuinely enjoys the emotional clarity that comes with being alone. No mixed signals, no hidden resentment, no trying to figure out if compliments are sincere, no pressure to keep up appearances, no emotional babysitting. Just peace. There's also a huge difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness feels like deprivation. Solitude feels like relief. Some women are more emotionally regulated, creative, feminine, productive, spiritually connected, and confident when they're alone. They stop overthinking themselves. They stop shape-shifting. They stop performing. They stop constantly checking the emotional temperature of the room. And ironically, women like this are often still very capable of deep connection. They just tend to prefer one-on-one friendships, emotionally mature people, intentional conversations, low drama dynamics, and friendships without hierarchy or competition. They usually don't want accessory friendships where everyone is together mainly for optics, entertainment, convenience, or social status. Another reason some women avoid cliquey dynamics is because they can feel psychologically unsafe once they notice how quickly groups can turn on one member. A woman may witness subtle exclusion, inside jokes at someone's expense, envy masked as concern, groupthink, mean girl behavior disguised as honesty, or even one woman becoming the designated insecure/scapegoated friend. And after seeing that happen enough times, she may unconsciously think, if they can do it to her, they can do it to me. So she keeps her emotional distance. Some women also outgrow group dynamics after a period of self-development. Once a woman becomes more confident, disciplined, attractive, ambitious, or self-aware, certain friendships can start to feel misaligned. Not because she thinks she's better than people, but because she no longer enjoys environments built around gossip, insecurity, chaos, or emotional dependency. She starts craving depth, peace, growth, reciprocity, and that can unintentionally isolate her. There's also something important to understand about highly sufficient women. They often don't need constant social stimulation to feel emotionally complete. Their inner world is rich. They enjoy their hobbies, routines, goals, creativity, and personal rituals. They don't always experience solitude as emptiness. In fact, some women feel more lonely in shallow group settings than they do by themselves, because being emotionally unseen in a crowd hurts more than being physically alone. And sometimes the woman who can't fit into friend groups is actually just refusing to portray herself for acceptance anymore. Alright, ladies, that is all for today's video. If you'd like to keep up with more of my content, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Reina Safo. One last thing, always remember to protect the woman you're becoming. I'll see you in the next one.